Alright. Hi, everyone. It is me, Sailor Moon. And it's me, Sailor Mini Moon, Small Moon here. And today we're going to talk about, because this was the year day, like many years ago, um, that, we were done with Google Hangout. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what Google Hangout is or was, it was like live streaming. It was like the first forkin to the Euro or U-Ways live streaming. The only downsides is that a lot of things took too long to fillet. Now even in sometimes they could get stuck in filleting, so it wasn't like UA live streaming now. Now, Google Livestream, or Google Hangout as it was called, was offshooted. Well, it was a tool that Google made for many years, and it was it was only a Google thing that through your Google reckoning. It wasn't something that ran for Euro. Now, in 23rd between FYL till 28 between FYL, Google Livestream was the only way you could do a live stream on Euro. Now, anyway, how did we even get stuck with dealing with that tool? So, it goes way back to like the 12th month of 25 between FYL, and we're only a month and a half into having our Google Chrome base or Google Chromebook with Google Chrome OS. And then someone at Euro makes a call, either the head leadership wicker or someone makes a call that, yeah, the web shooter tool that's been on Euro since 2005 YL needs to be withdrawn. They didn't give anyone any warnings about it. They didn't make any films about it. And they didn't even write it down anywhere that you could read it. It's just one day you go on, and then it just and you make your film, and then it starts spinning, and then you hear things saying, this tool will be gone by this date next year. Only they shut it, they shift the tool down, but they didn't take it away until like 1 month later. And they didn't really tell anyone until whatever, the morning or the midday or after day or evening or night, whatever time zone someone was in. And at the time, we didn't really have any other ways to make films. We were still new to our Google Chrome base at the time, and we didn't know that you could go into the, Play Shop, the Google Play Shop, yeah, which is still a thing, and now called Google Play, and you could take a filming tool or a web shooting tool that your web shooter would run off of or run through. We didn't know that. So we spent a year and a half doing live stream through Google Hangout. And then on the 6th month, the 21st, I should say, of 26 between FYL, the Google Hangout has a bug where it keeps on saying, you got to yield for other folks to come in, like it's some team live stream and not just some single film. So I said, fuck it. And then we went and started looking for other film tools that our web shooter could run through. And we went through a lot of them. And we've been doing uploading through the upload ever since then. Yeah. And to be earnest with you, you're right, Sailor Moon. To be earnest with you, Google Hangout wasn't as cool as a lot of folks out there like to make it out to be. It had some flaws. One, It was in HD. So if you didn't mind filming your things in HD, well, it would take too long to fillet, and things could get stuck in filleting. Unlike the Euro live streaming, which doesn't seem to have any of those flaws. And yeah, and we were done with it after that. And then we started taking all of these web shooter tools back when we had the Google Chrome base or Google Chrome OS, and some of them were all right. Some of them were shitty and only worked for a while. Others worked for longer than that. So we went for all these web shooting tools afterwards. Now, this is a saga about, the year day we were done with it. And yes, we were done with it after that. And we never went back to working with it. And by the time 28 Between It came along, Google Hangout live streaming was gone, overdone. Uray live streaming then became the standard for all that. But yeah, for a year and a half, we were stuck doing that because we didn't have any other web shooter tool on our Google Chrome base. And the Chrome base is a middle top. All right. It's a middle top. It's a board top, reckoner that were made. And I guess they still are being made. I don't know. And it ran off of Google Chrome OS, and, it had a web shooter. So it had that offshoot of what a middle top would have. Now, since there wasn't any tools, and since Google themselves would not come up with a web shooting tool until towards 2008 YL, going to 29 until 2020. Well, until then, you had to take all the bullshit web shooting tools you could get from Google Play. And when this flaw happened, and said, oh, no, well, it has to be a team. You got to yield for other folks to come in. That's when we knew we were done with it. That's when we made the call to be done with it that day, and then go on Google Play and start looking up whatever web shooter tools there were. And there were many. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. But this was the year day, that when it happened. And I know some of you folks out there are going to say, well, why are you even making a film talking about the year day that you were done with Google Hangout? Because we like to keep a reckoning when some big things happen, to us here on our fairway. And that's why. Well, you're right, Reenie. You're right, Sailor Mini Moon or Small Moon or Little Moon. At the end of the day, Google Hangout live streaming is no longer a thing anymore. And we were only stuck working with it for a year and a half due to us not having a web shooting tool. And then one day when it had some flaw on it that kept saying, go into a room, go to a team film, when we only made single films at the time. I meant single film. I meant it was only us making the film. There wasn't anybody else on there. Wasn't like anyone else was watching it at the time, and everybody else folks weren't there, And we didn't even set it up that way. It just kept on saying that. So it's okay, we're done with it. So that was a year day when we choose to be done with Google Hangout, and it wouldn't be around a lot longer after that either. So that's what happened. Hope you like this film. I, Sailor Moon Serena. I, Sailor Mini Moon, Small Moon, Little Moon Reenie. And we'll see you later.